Number 100 for the old man coach, the Holiday.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Trojan Football Report, we'll recap Troy's 45-21 home win against Georgia State with the head coach of the Trojans, Larry Blakeney. We'll also spend time with senior offensive lineman Tommy Stevens. Defensive coordinator Wayne Bolt stops by for a visit. Our Trojan top 5 highlights from the win over Georgia State, and Coach Blakeney will preview the upcoming challenge for the Trojans on the road at Idaho. That plus a whole lot more coming up on this week's edition of the Trojan Football Report. Welcome into the Trojan Football Report. I'm Barry McKnight with Troy head coach Larry Blakeney. Trojans coming off a win, 45-21 against Georgia State at home. Coach, congratulations.
Well, thank you. It was a great day for the Trojans, and you know, you don't ever know in this league what you're going to find, and we thought we had an even match coming in, certainly, and would have to compete very hard to win the game. And our guys got ready and played hard, and against a Georgia State team that's struggling to get a win in this league, and they've been awfully close, and certainly I was proud that we didn't give them much encouragement the other day. No turnovers, and we got the ball away from them 3 times. Our average starting point with the football was around the 50-yard line. Our punter averaged 44 yards. So, and number 16 standing back there on the kickoff caused them to pooch the ball. We got the ball. That's what helped us with all that starting with the ball so far up the field. So a lot of good things.
Let me ask you about this, because that's certainly one of the post-game tangents that the media took with this. It was your 100th victory at Veterans Memorial Stadium and your 177th victory overall. Only 2 coaches who've ever coached college football in the state have more than you do. How meaningful was that?
Oh, you know, it's meaningful, especially the 100th win at home. You know, means a lot to me, because I've always sold that to the kids as their legacy, you know. And the kids that are coming here and the coaches that are coming here later, that's going to be their legacy too. You know, when we step out here in Veterans Memorial Stadium, we're going to play, and we're going to play for 60 minutes, and we're going to win most of the time. And that's something I think is huge.
The Trojans take on Georgia State. Military Appreciation Day, so you know there was a lot of enthusiasm in the crowd as well. Let's take a look at our first half highlights.
To Silvers in the backfield, 3 wide receivers, all to the bottom of your screen, and it's a screen that is set up and working nearly for, and they are going to go for the draw. It's going to be a first down and more. Silver 8 of 9 passing the football to start this game, plowing to the goal line and touchdown. Loss of about a half a yard. Gets the football. How about this defensive penetration up front?
Let me see Sam Levy shoot the A-gap and get the catch before he can get.
Protection is good for Arbuckle, sending this down the field. The pass over the shoulder, caught for a touchdown, and that. How about this? It was that close to a race to the house for Brandon Burks. It's pretty healthy there. First and goal at the 3. On the ground, Burks. Touchdown.
Lineman playing high. You've got to play low when you're down in the red zone inside the 5-yard line. When you're standing up and you're playing
with the football, 2nd down and 6 as we begin the second quarter. Arbuckle, the quarterback, is sacked.
And Arbuckle had nowhere to go on this play. The guards are supposed to protect the depth of the pocket. He tries to step up, but the tackles have to keep the width of the pocket. So when the
side pass is it. Intercepted at the 27-yard line. The Trojans come up with the turnover.
Back, and he waited for Nick Arbuckle to throw that football. Great job by Ethan Davis to bait him. He was up in the receiver's face, and I think Nick Arbuckle looked and saw a pre-snap read, but then he came off of him as if he was getting ready to blitz and looking for a pitch to the outside.
Silvers going to the end zone. Touchdown, Troy Trojans.
1-on-1 coverage on the outside, but better job by Holmes getting his hands and high pointing that football, keeping his concentration as well as staying in bounds with that 1 foot.
Heading into half, Troy is leading Georgia State 21-7 and doing a lot of things that you wanted your club to do.
Preach and teach all the time, you know, and coaches all across America try to get it done, and we're getting it done at halftime. And we're up because we're getting it done. We hadn't turned it over. I think we'd gotten a turnover, so we had kicked it awfully well. And again, the starting points and the effort. And you know, we're gonna have to give the ball back to I think Georgia State starting the second half. And what I tried to sell verbally to the team was the fact that, hey, we got to cover this kick, we got to make a play, we got to stop them and get the ball back and go score. That's the way to start the third quarter in a college football game if you're going to win.
And that's the way it ended up happening for Troy, up 21-7 at halftime. Heading into the third quarter, Coach, and I want to ask you this now because this has been a common theme for a lot of football teams through the years. And the two wins that your club has gotten, both have been a lot of it because you've been able to run the football, and you were able to run the football against them. There's no surprises there.
No, it's no surprise at all to me. You know, anybody that wants to win football games at a regular pace, they need to be able to rush the football. I think we rushed for 300 and some odd 20 yards or so, and actually, you know, as we approached the fourth quarter and had the game in control, and we could see the finish line and the victory, we started, you know, trying to sock the clock away too, and so that might have affected some of our stuff, and maybe we could have rushed it for a little more. But great game, we threw it pretty good, and almost had two great plays by our quarterback and receivers. Their defensive back made a great play on the post route one time, and Brian Holmes was in position to make the catch, and then Brian made another great catch. Silvers was well. And Silver was better. He made plays running it. He made plays throwing it. I didn't think he had just an awful throw all day, you know. And you know, he threw the curl route good again, and some good things happened there. I hope he continues to gain confidence, and because he's done the job, and Sean Reagan's coached him up hard every week and gotten him ready.
Well, Coach Blakeney has given the blueprint at halftime what he wants from his team, and you'll see it play out, including the first score that Coach said he wanted from this team, a dynamic 30-yard run from Brandon Silvers, as we take a look at our second half highlights.
Georgia State 5 of 6 on third down. That ball's out. And it's still rolling around. And Troy's got the football.
Great play by the defender, putting a hat on the football. Great job by Jamal Statham putting his hat on the football, and great job by the Troy defense covering it up.
Tyler Lassiter is checked in at the left tackle spot. Quarterback keeper. Look at Silvers go. First down and more. Inside the 5. Dive into the pylon. End zone. Touchdown, Troy.
The linemen get big splits and they all block down. You've got the right guard, Tommy Stevens, pulling around, and Silvers gets behind him, and he gets to the end, he goes airborne. You don't want your quarterback to go airborne. You want him to
highlight film for sure. Watch the end of this run.
And his back is not hurting too bad.
No. Wow.
I'm interested to see.
Blair goes back the other way. Arbuckle. End zone. Wide open. Touchdown. Johnson is the holder. On the way. And good.
And Arbuckle has to be careful when you're scrambling in the pocket. You've got defenders all around you. You have to keep your hands on.
Yards on a touchdown in this game. Inside the 5, end zone, goal line, touchdown, Jordan Chun. So Burks goes for 49, and then Chun takes it the rest of the way for a Troy touchdown.
And Chun didn't.
Drive is doing exactly what Larry Blakeney wants, burning time off that clock. Robinson, 5-yard line, into the end zone, touchdown. Kerry Franklin. So
example of exhaustion and fatigue. You see Franklin right here. He gets hit at about the 10-yard line. He should be down, but he drags the tacklers into the end zone. They just didn't have enough to get him.
Arbuckle back again. Rush in his face to the end zone. Touchdown.
Here on the Trojan Football Report, we spend some time with defensive coordinator Wayne Bolt. Coach, this point of the season, the defense has has had some injuries. There's been some teams that have really been able to do some things. But overall, I'm just interested in your perception of the play of the defense as a whole.
Right. I think the kids are, like I say, we have had some injuries, but this time of year everybody does, and so you just got to go with what you're dealt. Our kids have done some good things. We've had some troubles, stopping the run, during the season, but they've worked hard, and during the week and doing all the things that that we've asked them to do, and I'm proud of them. After last week, we played a lot better, and if we can go out to Idaho and finish it up strong, and then come back home after an off week with Lafayette, it'd be a good finish for the kids.
I thought it was encouraging with Mark Wilson out for the rest of the year, and we all know how much of a loss that was. The fact that you had a couple of guys stepped up at middle linebacker, and some of the other injuries as well have provided some opportunities for some kids.
No question. Sam Libby was a kid we recruited out that got hurt last year, and thought he was had a really good chance to be a player for us last year. Got hurt and has come back and filled in for Mark. Him and Daniel Warren, both of them have come in there, and after losing Terrence Lewis, we had to move Mitchell Ronan back to the weak side backer. So basically Mitchell's doing both of them, and Daniel and Sam are getting good reps at the middle linebacker spot. But really proud of both of them, as far as what they've done, last couple of weeks, and if we just keep improving.
We look at the way that football has changed offensively, and you have had, of course, a long career. Talk about some of the key differences that you see in offensive football since your career first started, and what the reaction's got to be defensively.
Right. I think, of course, everybody's playing faster, and which puts a little bit more pressure on the defense as far as getting lined up. And I think with that situation, you can't huddle, you can't the huddle is out, right. Which back in the day you used to have your leaders could talk in the huddle and communicate in the huddle and that kind of thing, and I think that's one thing that the fast pace, and of course it's our offense has been really good at it, is it takes out the the leadership role as far as, all right, let's get it done, that type of situation, and communication is key, as far as getting lined up, getting the different calls that you have and getting them communicated, and it puts a lot more pressure on the defense. But I think fast-paced offense is good for the game. I've been an offense and a defensive coach through my career, and I think it's good for the game, and it's exciting, and it's packing the stadiums, and so I think it's here to stay. It's just puts a lot more pressure on defense.
It's interesting when you mention the fact that your kids have been playing hard, because despite the adversity this team has gone through, every coach that we talk to, the one thing that they always have as a common theme when we talk is that regardless of the circumstances, the kids have really been working.
They have, and it's not only on the field, but in the classroom and in the weight room, and they've done what they're supposed to do. And it's tougher when you're going through a season like this, to where you have consecutive losses in a row, and that's a tribute to our kids and the way Coach Blakeney has raised this program. And and our kids the kids theme has been, let's finish strong, and we've got a good road trip to Idaho, and against a team that has not had a lot of success, but has put a lot of points on the board, and of course Paul Petrino is an outstanding coach, and so it'll be a great test for us.
Final question, and I ask this because you probably as much as anybody has had a long relationship with Larry Blakeney. Your thoughts, professionally speaking, in football, on what Larry Blakeney has meant to this program and to college?
Right. I don't think there's any question that his longevity here at Troy is unprecedented, and it is because of who he's had, the players he's had, the coaches he's had. He's had through his career, because I came on the first staff, and keeping the staff intact, and that all goes back to him and the administration, as far as that with Dr. Jack and through the different athletic directors have been through here. But it's he's a legend, and he will always be that. And and hopefully we can finish this year out, you know, to where it's a little bit better for him and the whole, you know, Troy family.
I love that sentiment, certainly. Coach Wayne Bolt is with us. Coach, thanks so much for the time.
Thank you very much.
Great to have him with us. Good luck to the Trojans defensively the last 2 weeks of the season. We'll talk a little bit more about the Trojans in the Trojan Football Report in just a moment. Back again here on the Trojan Football Report. Our student athlete feature is a guy that we really have watched grow and mature for a long time. Coach, anytime I ask you or the other players or the coaches about Tommy Stevens, senior offensive lineman, Marianna, Florida, one of the adjectives it seems they always use, and we'll use it during our visit with him and ask him about it, is the word solid.
Yeah, he is. He is a guy that I think he's working on his second degree at Troy University, and that's something that every player that comes through here cannot say. And he's not a great athlete or anything like that, but he is, as you mentioned, solid. He knows what to do, and he executes with his other teammates up front on offense, and has been a great citizen and student, certainly, and player at Troy University.
You can tell he has had some good raising too, as you'll notice as we spend some time one-on-one. Troy senior offensive lineman Tommy Stevens. Here on the Trojan Football Report, we spend some time with one of our student athletes, senior offensive lineman Tommy Stevens from Marianna, Florida, joins us. Tommy, first of all, big win on Saturday. Give us a perspective. How big was that win? How good did it feel?
It felt really good. Going out there, seeing that our hard work paid off the previous week, just working together and just able to run the ball the way we did. Defense did a great job, and just kept fighting and got the victory.
Your career has been back and forth. You redshirted, you started on the defensive line, switched a couple of years ago. Give us a perspective on your career as you see it at Troy.
Oh, it's been a wonderful career. I wouldn't take nothing back from it. Starting off, redshirting, being on defense, getting moved to offense. I was just a player willing to play wherever they need me. I found my spot on the offensive line, got a chance to play, and they see what I could do, and I just been helping the team out ever since.
The offensive line in an offense like this, where it's so fast, what are the emphases for you? What do they ask you to do in an offensive line like this, where you got to go and go and go?
Just be ready. That tempo. We understand it wears defenses down, and we just play to our advantage, and it plays a big role in our scheme, and it helps us out a lot.
When we talk with the coaches about the players, we get a sort of a thumbnail sketch from them on each one of them. And when by and large, when we talk about Tommy Stevens, they always mention the word solid. You're going to get a day's work out of him. You're not going to have to worry about much of the outside stuff. Is that meaningful to you?
Yes, sir, it is. That's why I carry myself. That's what I was taught growing up. My parents did a great job, and I'm just always willing to work and put my best foot forward.
You played in high school with Dalton Bennett at Marianna. You play with him now. You guys seem to know each other pretty well. Talk about that relationship.
Oh, it's a great bond we have. That's my boy. He's a great guy. We joke around, have a good time. Did it in high school, been doing it in college. This has been a good experience to play as a former player in high school and in college.
Now, you mentioned joke around and stuff. That leads me up to my next question. We always like to ask this of our student athletes because you guys are asked a lot. As a student athlete, as a student, with all of the work you do, study hall and things like that, has it ever seemed overwhelming to you, all of the different things that you are responsible for as a student athlete at a high-level Division I football program?
Not at all, because I understand football is a man's sport, and if everybody could do it, they would be, and it's not like that. So I take full responsibility of what we're required to do, and I don't look at it as being a hard task. It's just something you do what you love, and that's why we do it.
When football is over for you, whenever that might be, where do you envision yourself? What are you aiming towards outside of football?
Just the pursuit of happiness, having a wife and kids and starting a family, having a good job, and just, continue to give God praise.
Final question, what has it meant for you to play football under Larry Blakeney?
Such an honor, such an honor. That guy is awesome. He's installed in us to understanding of being a man and how football can do that for you. And it has really did a good job for me, because that's what has made me a man, overcoming adversity, understanding that you may get knocked down, but how many times you gonna get up, and that's what it's done for me.
Great stuff. Tommy Stevens, senior offensive lineman from Marianna, Florida, joins us. Tommy, good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, sir.
We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Trojan Football Report. Time now for our Trojan Top 5, the top 5 plays from Troy's win against Georgia State.
Pass is in. Intercepted at the 27-yard line. The Trojans come up with the turnover.
Back, and he waited for Nick Arbuckle to throw that football. Great job by Ethan Davis to bait him. He was up in the receiver's face, and I think Nick Arbuckle looked and saw a pre-snap read, but then he came off of him as if he was getting ready to blitz and looking for a pitch to the outside.
Silver's going to the end zone. Touchdown, Troy Trojans.
One coverage on the outside, but better job by Holmes getting his hands and high pointing that football, keeping his concentration as well as staying inbounds with that 1 foot.
Georgia State 5 of 6 on third down. That ball's out. And it's still rolling around. And Troy's got the football.
Great play by the defender, putting a hat on the football. Great job by Jamal Statham putting his hat on the football, and great job by the Troy defense covering it up.
Tyler Lassiter is checked in at the left tackle spot. Quarterback keeper. Look at Silvers go. First down and more. Inside the 5. Dive into the pylon. End zone. Touchdown, Troy.
The linemen get big splits and they all block down. You've got the right guard, Tommy Stevens, pulling around, and Silvers gets behind him, and he gets to you and he goes airborne. You don't want your quarterback to go airborne. You want him to
I like him for sure. Watch the end of this run.
His back is not hurting too bad.
No. Wow.
I'm interested to see.
Drive is doing exactly what Larry Blakeney wants. Burning time off that clock. Robinson. 5-yard line into the end zone. Touchdown. Kerry Franklin. So Franklin's
example of exhaustion and fatigue. You see Franklin right here. He gets hit at about the 10-yard line. He should be down, but he drags the tacklers into the end zone. They just didn't have enough to get him.
The preparation for Troy's upcoming challenge, a trip towards Idaho on Saturday in Moscow, Idaho, in Sun Belt Conference play, certainly seems like it will have been bolstered by a good performance on Saturday. It's always better after a W, isn't it?
There's no question. Everybody feels better. Everybody accepts criticism and critique better, and you can coach them better. It's just everybody feels better about going to practice or weights or class, or they run into their classmates on campus and everybody's smiling and congratulating them. So at the same time, there's a serious part to it. You got to prepare for this trip, number one, and this team in Idaho, coached by Paul Petrino, who's a pretty good name in college football, especially offenses, and they are no different, and we've seen Paul before at Arkansas and at Western Kentucky, and they're always good and they're well oiled, and they know what they want to do and they execute to the nth degree.
We always try to identify factors leading into each game that might be brought to bear in the contest. And one of the things I know you've been asked about the media, I know the players have as well, is just the dynamics and logistics of this trip. Going from Troy to Moscow, Idaho, especially the weather we're probably going to be seeing outside the dome, is a consideration.
Well, yeah, it is. It's going to be cold. It's going to be snowing. I'd say, we got to certainly deal with that because we don't have to play in it, and that's a good thing. And the whatever the name of the dome is, the Kibby Dome. Kibby Dome, and the Kibby Dome is certainly a needed facility in that kind of climate. And I'm really trying to find a way to work out in it on Friday, and they've got high school playoffs in the Kibby Dome, so we got to find a way to walk in there, or them allow us to come early or after the games are over or something. But and we may not get to do it, but I was wanting to see that. We did the same thing with the Georgia Dome for these kids. went in there and spent 30 minutes. I think it's not very long, but it is a different kind of trip you got to deal with. It's going to be very long, 4-hour flight, and then you know, getting to where we are hotel wise and trying not to get hotel fever, you know, for 2 days.
Yeah, it is a trip that the Trojans actually leave even a day earlier than normal.
Well, our administration allowed us to get on out there and acclimate, and I think that's a good idea. And we've done that before, not necessarily. I think we did that when we went to Montana, and of course it didn't help us at all in Montana. And we've done it a lot of times on buses in East Texas, and go halfway, spend a night, go into the hotel and the site, and spend the next night. We've done that before, but you know, just trying to let your body acclimate to the environment, and it's going to be an exciting trip for a lot of these kids. Some of them never flown. Right.
Good luck with it, Coach.
Thank you very much.
The head coach of the Troy Trojans is Larry Blakeney. We are certainly looking forward to a challenge the Trojans have going to Idaho on Saturday. It is an ESPN3 telecast, of course, on the Troy Sports Radio Network as well. Hope you enjoyed our broadcast today, and we hope you join us again next time for another edition of the Trojan Football Report.